Silvio, Alberto, and João Santos are your starters. The head coach is a former Corinthians player by the name of Gilvanildo. We'll check out the Corinthians lineup for you in just a couple of moments. Right now they're getting some people off the field, getting ready to start things. Corinthians will not have players like Neto and Viola in the lineup tonight, and that's a switch. We're used to Neto taking all of those free kicks, but Neto is playing for a club team, Millonarios, in Colombia. Viola was going to go with Albacete in Spain, and last we heard he was still trying to get back here. I'm sure Corinthians could use him. Dionisio Roberto Domingos is your game referee. Corinthians are in the white shirts, black shorts. The roadside going up.
The advantage, if that ball had been able to hit the ground, had he been able to get it in front of the keeper, there's a chance that the ball will skid along, because the new type of balls they use, as soon as they hit a wet surface, they seem to just take off, and they can be very dangerous on a situation where you have a short hop coming into the keeper.
Elias passed it off from the back. Leandro Silva. Number 9 was Leto. Leto, one of several ex-Mogi Mirim players, giving it up. Moved deep on the right side. Simao. On the cross, it's loose inside the 18. Marcelo Prates will flick it away off a right footer, and it comes right back the other way.
Well, that was a very promising setup, and the cross was nicely placed, but the defender was fit to get ahead to it and knock it down. And fortunately, for the defense, there was another defender to pick it up, because the ball was loose.
It was plowed over.
Well, Enrique was one of the players that really impressed me last year. On a couple of occasions, you have to get him mad before he plays really well. Sometimes it takes a knock to get him into the game, but when you get him into the game, he plays with tremendous determination. Young man who came from Portuguesa over to Corinthians, and he has played very well.
There's the player to watch, Valverde, tucking it away on the left wing side. The shot is deflected, and it will go high and wide of goal, but watch for them. All set for the corner kick. Center post area punched out by Gabriel.
Keeper not taking any chances that time. He made sure he got a double fist to it and knocked it out, the wet ball.
See the linesman's flag up that far side. It is so windy. If you don't punch it out with authority, it may end up going back behind you and into your own goal. Leandro Silva almost had it knocked away. Check that. He did have it knocked away. Silvio trying to cross it. Should have done better with that.
Had time to get himself in shape to get the ball across, and he just...
0-0 match. Near post, it's deflected out. Here's a quick shot taken too high by João Santos, a 27-year-old who scored a goal in the 1-1 draw at Flamengo a couple of weeks ago.
Is leaving them down. Certainly Corinthians had the opportunity twice to put it away, but on both occasions couldn't do it.
Tommy, both teams obviously come in with a game plan. Does that game plan change much when they see conditions like this before they come out?
Yes, certainly. There's no way that you can put the game plan on the board and try to have it work. Once the wind is blowing as hard as it's blowing and the ground is as wet as it is, you're just going to have to hope that you don't make a mistake the rest of the year. I'm wondering what way it'll affect the World Cup this year, how they'll play.
Here's a chance with a right-footed shot, but that one sailed high on the part of Corinthians. Another good opportunity. They've had the better chances down deep.
They just haven't been fit to finish, as we got to 30 points in comparison to Corinthians, who had 39 points and of course made it all the way to the final. So you'd feel that the edge and skill should go to Corinthians, but of course so many of their good players are missing tonight. It's to be interesting to see if they can put it together like they did last year.
I want to see how they play, not so much without Viola, but more so without Neto.
Well, you know, every time they got a free last year, it was an adventure when they stepped up. There were so many opportunities, and I remember you calling so many great goals. One in particular that stands out in my mind from about 40 yards out, and he sent it like a rocket into the top right-hand corner of the net. It was as fine a goal as I ever saw played, and somebody like that missing off a team certainly can cause the spirits to go down a little bit.
Well, Neto had a sort of a love-hate relationship, didn't he, with the fan? Very, very often, in fact. Corinthians looking with its chance, and it's headed out. Another shot taken, deflected. That one could have been a problem, but it's deflected wide of goal.
Ball was sent the opposite way.
Corner kick. Corinthians take it to the far post. Simao was looking, but there's Gabriel. who's been pretty strong today despite these conditions. He's been very busy. Ronaldo.
Of course, we've had a lot of excitement in Brazil since our last game. Last week we talked about the big game coming up the day before, and of course, as most of the world knows by now, Brazil out through to the World Cup, and a sigh of relief has been heaved all over Brazil, probably throughout the world.
Tipped over the bar. Again, it's Gabriel. What's changing here? Corinthians have certainly picked up their game.
Within reach of the goal as he went through the box.
A low cross intercepted. That was Marcio. Good play defensively. There was a forward that had gotten behind him and was onside. Bragantino and Corinthians taking turns giving that ball away. Spot there right now for Corinthians. On that right sideline, Bragantino will clear it out. What makes a team not practice any kind of trickery on those free kicks as opposed to decoying it?
Well, sometimes they feel that they're strong enough that they don't need to decoy it, and they feel that they're strong enough that they have a good enough attack that if they set the ball across into the middle someplace, if it had been short-topped on a situation like that, it can be very dangerous.
Less than 10 minutes to go, first half. Bragantino looks for a lead, and it was headed down rather weakly by Anderson. He was open.
He certainly was, and he won't get too many better opportunities this season, never mind this game.
Moments ago, put it out of his mind. Balbert. Reversing, right side. Leandro Silva. Simao. And Anderson. Off the collision, it's Simao. Mbu. All the way back to Enrique. 4 or 5 touches later, Corinthians still working with it. Trying to get a decent shot. Mbu again. Inside with a flick. Not well enough. Cleared out by Donizete.
Well, Corinthians, to their credit, are trying to play what the world has known as Brazilian soccer. Little touch here, a little chip there, a little flick here, and hoping that something will work out. It's very pretty when it works, and there was a lot of players who touched the ball there, but in the end, you got to get that shot on goal.
Corinthians moving it back. That was Enrique clearing it. Bragantino taking it over. 6 is Carlos Augusto. Down the left wing side, too far, intended for Marcio.
Ended up catching it.
Joao Santos. Towards the corner flag. Try to sneak through, and it's cleared out by the back line. Marcelo made the play. Here's Marcelo Prates. Against 2. The pass right back to him. Anderson. Looked like one pass too many there. Anderson could have teed it up. There's Ronaldo stopping it. That might have been last touch by Corinthians. At least Ronaldo thought so. Didn't want to give up a corner kick. Striking that one with authority, almost to the midfield line. Admilson got a piece. Simao the rest. Leandro Silva going long inside the 18. And not a good chance at goal as Gabriel was right there.
Leandro Silva, the man who came from Flamengo, is starting to play a much more assertive role in Corinthians, and they have switched. A lot of the time they were coming up along the left wing. This time they're coming up along the right wing, and on the last 2 occasions up, he was the man involved, and he sent balls across that could have ended up in scoring opportunities.
Tough hit on that far sideline.
I guess that's what keeps the economy of the teams going. They're fit to sell players off, because certainly in terms of the crowd and the money that's paid in the gate money, it's not going to run teams.
I didn't hear a whistle, but the referee and everyone else are walking it off. So the first half has a change and bring Elias in and look for a little bit more as
they could possibly score. A couple of times they had one-on-one with the keeper, and in soccer you're supposed to be fit to put it away in situations like that, and they weren't, so we have no goal.
Corinthians with a better side, Tommy, we thought, in the first half of play, but no goals to show for it. They had the better chances, but this is still easily anyone's game at 0-0.
Well, you know, you watch the substitutions being made and you wonder sometimes why Marcelinho hasn't come on. He's one of the emerging young stars in Brazil. He's 20 years old and he's still sitting on the bench. You would think that the opportunity has arisen for him to be taken on. If you're going to take on a sub, you would imagine that he would have been the first choice.
Donizete ready to put it back in play. Gives it up. Marcelo Prates now to the left side. Marcio. Tackle away from him. Valverde picked it up. Now it's intercepted. Long distance shot. Why not?
And from a long distance out, it takes a couple of bounces, and on a night like tonight, it can present problems. But the keeper.
Marcelo Prates giving it up on the right side. Cutting inside. Donizete went down. Enrique's over him. And
yellow cards and a couple of red cards last season.
By Ronaldo. Marcelo Prates playing it in. There's the header. A tough collision, no fouls by Corinthians. Marcelo Prates sending it far post, cleared away. Marcelo got a foot on it. Sent right back towards the right corner. Marcelo Prates inside, right post. There's a shot taken, blocked. They wanted a handball. We've got a player down for Corinthians. Bragantino wanted a handball. That happened so quick, couldn't see what part of the player that ball hit. No. Cleared away by Marcelo, number 3 in white. Corinthians with the ball going right side to left. Scoreless match, second half. Going long. Rivaldo knew he was offside. Didn't need a linesman's flag to tell him. Augusto. Picked off by Corinthians. On the left side, some pretty poor spacing. 5 players within about 10 yards of each other. Awful throw in to give it away like that. Valverde trying to take charge and knock Marcelo Prates off while he was dribbling.
Watching the replay and a little bit of the body used.
4-man wall being set up. 3-man wall make it rather slowly. Here's a quick shot by Rivaldo. Looked like Gabriel was a little bit unsure the way that ball may bounce. Ball.
Yeah, and I think it took just a little bit of deflection at the wrong time. That man obviously has been watching Neto, but I feel from the way he took that free, he's just not watching him close enough. He should have watched him a little closer.
Rivaldo. There's a tackler, Marcelo Prates, who almost went through him.
Not afraid to go forward and attacking. He's a very sure tackler at the back, and he makes his presence felt when he comes for you.
On the near sideline going down was Leto. He got some help. That's Junior claiming he was tugged at.
With you, he said that he pulled his tugs. You could see him telling the referee that.
Played in near post, headed out, not yet out of danger. Rivaldo couldn't get a shot away, but took the legs out. Looks like from Claudinho. Oh, it's getting rougher now. We'll see.
The tackling here is ferocious at this stage.
Number 13 still talking about his case, but
I've never seen the referee change his mind. I've seen many teams appeal, and I've seen many teams try to intimidate.
And Dominguez says that's it for Elias. So now what happens? You're down to 10 players. We've seen teams play better when they've been down to 10 players because obviously they put a little more effort into it. The other team takes them maybe too lightly. So many different scenarios here. I'm wondering what we might see with Corinthians and Bragantino.
Long balls, and that's the way they're going to try to play it. They're certainly leaving enough of men back that they're not going to make themselves vulnerable at the back. Yes, the ball was floated in nicely, but it was a little bit long, perhaps carried by the winner. Valverde was just misjudged and he couldn't get his head to it properly.
Lifted by Bragantino inside the 18. I'm a little surprised that Corinthians haven't used Leandro Silva more as an offensive weapon in the second half. When he was used in the first half, he was very effective, so was the team.
He looked very effective in the first half, but Bragantino have been fit to blot him out this time. I've noticed that each time he goes to come up the field that there is a player running along with him, and they're making sure that he's not getting opened. And amazingly, you know, since the player was sent off, Corinthians are the team who opportunities. Watching this one coming in, it's knocked down a nice.
What did he eat up there? About 20 seconds, maybe? It's pretty good.
Certainly did.
All of a good 20 seconds. Valverde going wide right. Here's a chance. Long shot. Didn't look like it was missing by much. There's the man again, Leandro Silva.
amazing that they haven't been fit to involve him in the game plan more often in the second half this time.
Referee has just glanced at the watch. Can't be much time left. Kick straight up by Rivaldo. Marcelinho running with a little space. Now it's closed down. He gives it up. Valverde. Great pass. Marcelinho shooting it wide. Not by much. Great angle, great chance. But he missed it by more than I thought on that replay. We had a bad angle. That's it. I said earlier, and you gave me a strange look, fit to be tied, but it sure was. I don't think either side had a real great edge here. I think Bragantino could have had an advantage when Elias got tossed out. There's some unhappy people here probably thinking back to that penalty kick that was never called.
Well, certainly it looked like there were very legitimate reasons for the penalty being given. The referee was having none of it, and it's a game which you probably...